Have you ever wanted to start your very own automotive manufacturer? Of course you have, except there's a giant problem to that. It's quite expensive and it's not the early 1900s. So consider that another dream in the bin, kid. Good luck making a better Corolla, you dweeb. But don't worry, there's a solution to your troubles. Introducing Automation, the car company Tycoon game. Now you have the full ability to create the motorized vehicle of your dreams and immediately smash it into a tree.
Oh, you dumbass!
Now I already covered this game in my BeamNG video, but I vaguely reviewed it. I almost forgot to mention about this separate game known as Automation. Basically, it's a car creator for BeamNG. Shut up past me, you uninformed prick! Well, yes, it is indeed a car creator for BeamNG, but it's a lot more than that. It allows you to explore your automotive creative imagination with no boundaries. Except sorta not really. This game is heavily detailed on the technical aspect, on designing and building cars. I mean, it is very technical. Just look at the interface on this game. Every nut and bolt you want to adjust on your engine, go right ahead. Especially if you want to tune the ignition timing. And there are two types of people that play Automation. Those that take the game way too seriously and spend hours upon hours on crafting and designing the perfect car, analyzing every bit of detail. And those that do the polar opposite and create the funniest shitpost automotive abominations just for laugh and giggles. But let me show you some of the cars I made during my spare time. Here is Fred GT3, the very ugly and mentally challenged attempt on making a GT3 car. Although fitted with an extremely overpowered 4.9 liter V6, sponsored by D's Nuts Racing, and also featured in my previous BeamNG video. And here, I turned a 4th generation Corvette into an overpowered rally car, aka the Mitsubishi Rally Vet, fitted with a turbocharged 4-banger, making 498 horsepower.
It's a double caution job! Double caution job! No, stay on road, Sammy! You have to stay on road, Sammy, otherwise car will break down.
And I also made a Dodge Ram drift truck as well, fitted with a 707 horsepower 6-cylinder, and goddamn is it fun to drive. And I made another drift car, but from a 1970s meat wagon. This shit is giving a lot of Hoonicorn vibes, slapped with a V8 that makes 865 horsepower, which is pretty cool. And of course, who could forget Booger Phlegm GT, the star of the show in my previous BeamNG video. Although slower than a Dodge Viper, which is pretty tragic. But I love this thing. It drives a lot better than it looks. And this stupid thing reminds me of Shrek. But if you want a start to finish rundown on how making a car in Automation works, well, let me show you.
Ow!
So you start out with the wide selection of car bodies to choose from, and I mean every type of car body. Hatchbacks, sedans, pickups, vans, minivans, station wagons, utes, SUVs, coupes/coupes, convertibles, supercars, you name it. But we'll just make a regular sedan for now. Okay, now it's time to build the frame and chassis with all the different materials to choose from, and you get to decide how you want the engine to be placed on your car, along with whatever kind of suspension you want on your car. Next step, it's time to do some engine building and tuning. Now starting out, we got 4 different types of engine blocks to choose from. Inline, 60-degree V-block, 90-degree V-block, and boxer engines. Let's go with the V6. And you get to decide on how big you want your engine to be. And you get to pick if you want old school push rods or camshafts. And then you get to pick the type of crankshaft, conrods, and pistons you want. Either high performance F1 levels of internals or a goddamn tractor. Then you get to do all kinds of tuning on the engine. Compression and cams, variable valve timing, RPMs and whatnot. And if you want a turbocharger on your engine, you most certainly can. And you get to decide what type of fuel system you want, either old school carburation or fuel injection. And last but not least, you get to design the exhaust system. And if you're like me, you just fucking straight pipe everything. And once you're all set and done, you get a stern talking to on why your engine is the worst thing to be ever engineered.
Oh,
But once you manage to fix all the mistakes on your motor, it's time to test it out. Nissan VQ vibes from this shit. And now it's time to design the car. You get to play around with the shape of the body, and you get to decide on what color you want your car to be. In this case, it's gonna be painted blue. And almost every part of the car can be changed to whatever color you want as well. So if you want a carbon fiber hood on your car, you can. And here is where the fun begins. With an obnoxiously wide selection of fixtures to choose from, you'll be spending hours upon hours getting your creative juices flowing on the car of your dreams. Especially when you turn it into a goddamn knockoff Supra. And I'm well aware you could design the interior of the car, but for me, that shit is way too complicated and takes way too much time. So use your imagination that the car actually has an interior. And now it's time to create the transmission. You get to pick the drive type and gearbox, and in this case, it's gonna be a 5-speed manual. You get to pick and design the tires of your car, slap in some quality Brembos on this bitch, decide what type of aerodynamics this thing has, the actual mechanics of the interior, the type of steering you want, and last but not least, the suspension parts. And after all that hard work, the game proceeds to tell you on how big of a shitbox your car actually is.
It's a shitbox.
But to hell with that. You give your car a nice name, and now it's time to test it out on BeamNG Drive. And here it is, your very own automobile on an actual racetrack to test out.
Oh, the speed! The speed!
But after a long time of testing and driving, you'll realize that you unintentionally created another drifting machine. And once you get tired of basic driving in your creation, it's time to test out the durability in this thing.
Look out!
Damn! Get off the way!
And that's pretty much the start and finish rundown on creating the car in this game.
I am a automation YouTuber, and I am going to make a very uninteresting, slow European hatchback.
Recommence now.
Now this is brilliant! I am building the chassis.
Recommence now.
And how should I build this majestic molder? And this machine is going to be a massive 1.3 liter 4-cylinder. Man, what the hell? The engine has some underutilized fuel octane. Consider using high compression. But why not you go deep throat a cactus? 100.7 horsepower. Look at the machine. Man, it looks goofy as fuck when it's orange. Man, what the hell are these headlights? And wow, look at the machine. We commence now. Hydraulic ball, but drag these hydraulic balls across your forehead. And now the car is ready for BeamNG. Oh my goodness, the speed! I don't think I'm worthy of such a vehicle. Oh, look out! I got beat up by the copyright agents. Also, not only do you just aimlessly create cars in sandbox mode, but there's also a campaign mode where you actually get to create your very own car manufacturer. And if you're complaining about your Ford Pinto constantly exploding, well then make a safer car, you stupid twat. So let's get started on making our own company. And right off the bat, we get to decide our company name and what fictional country to start off on. I'm naming it Collie Motors, and the country I'll take is Arcania, simply because it has low corporate taxes and cheap labor. I'm already off to a great start as a CEO, and the year is 1995. Don't worry, folks of the mid-90s, I'm here to save you from automotive embarrassment. And my plan for my first car is pretty simple. A cheap, basic 4-door sedan. But the catch being is that it's actually a big-time piece of shit. But the motor will be fantastic, however. And as you can see, nothing but cheap parts. But this motherfucker is gonna be fitted with a stinking 6-liter V12. And this car is just the most uninspiring thing on the planet. And what am I naming this? The Irresponsible. And we go through a bunch of menus to get this thing into production. And look, we're already making some money. In that case, let's make another car. Now, I've always wanted to make a minivan that's a total death trap. As if they weren't death traps already. Filled with the cheapest stuff possible and fitted with the most embarrassing lawnmower engine known to man, making a whopping 97 horsepower.
especially when a minivan has the name Broken Condom, and it looks like I'll be spending more millions of dollars on making factories on this stupid abomination. Okay, as it turns out, I'm at a massive net loss, and it looks like the workers union has a hit on me. But that's okay, I have a solution. I've always wanted to make a modern day muscle car if it was powered with the most underpowered fart can known to man. Take notes, Dodge. Might as well recycle the shitty 4-cylinder I already have. And here is my modern muscle, looking not too shabby, ready to take on some V6 Camaros, especially when it's given the name Insecure and will be money making machines in no time. Okay, as it turns out, the automotive manufacturer business is totally not for me. And if you really want to explore your creative boundaries on automotive design, I highly recommend automation. Get this on Steam for however much it costs right now. And my score for automation is 10 ugly cars out of